Lighthouses. There's something really cool about lighthouses. I think we were young, would, see them and for some reason get attracted to them. I know I was attracted to lighthouses at an early age. It sounds unnatural, but being on the East Coast, I grew up with some of the old towers that were there for the World War II beach observing, and they were interesting. And then we ended up, as a kid, I'd always go to Cape Hatteras, and there were some great lighthouses, especially the big one there. And, Michigan, tons of lighthouses. Who knew how many Great Lakes lighthouses there were? Well, I know someone who does know, and he's sitting here right next to me right now. Please, if you would, welcome Jerry Roach to the show. Hi, Jerry.
Hi, Tim. Thanks for having me.
Nice to have you on the program.
Thanks.
Thank you for coming in. Where did you drive in from? Corona or somewhere?
Durand.
Durand. That's a bit of a drive. How was it?
The roads were wet, but the paved roads were fine.
Right. Boy, this parking lot's terrible, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Jesus. Folks, you got to throw this in real quick. You got to be really careful on some of that stuff that's refrozen, and then got this little bit late rain on it this morning. First Main had a little fender bender already.
I heard that.
Yeah, it's the way it goes. Everybody's okay.
That's good.
Now, here's how all this started. Danny Coyle sends me an email.
Yep.
Regular listener, longtime fan of the Tim Barron franchise.
Good friend.
And evidently good friend of yours.
Absolutely.
Says, Tim, I know how much you care about this state. I know how much you care about preservation of landmarks. I thought I'd give you some info on a local guy who owns Huron's Lights Museum and Gift Shop, and he's authored 3 books: The Ultimate Guide to West Michigan Lighthouses, Ultimate Guide to Upper Michigan Lighthouses, and The Ultimate Guide to East Michigan Lighthouses. Very historic, involved guy named Jerry Roach in Durand. So now, that, of course, triggers a phone call, and here you sit.
Here I am.
Welcome to the program. Thank you, Danny, for
Thank you, Dan.
letting us know what's going on. Let's get this straight. How did you start loving lighthouses?
It was my wife's fault.
Oh, really?
It's always a woman, isn't it?
Listen to you.
Yeah, no, I was in photography, but when we started dating, she loved the lighthouses, and we took off to see one that was on her list, and we couldn't find it. When we finally did get there, we took the pictures, and when I was packing up my equipment, I said, isn't there a book out there that has directions to these things, because we can't be the only ones having difficulty finding them. And she said no. We left the parking lot about half a mile down the road. I pulled my truck off the side of the road, and I said, I'm going to write a book about this.
And you did, and you wrote 2 more after that.
And she didn't hardly believe it until we actually went and looked at the proofs for the book, I think.
Well, I'm looking at the book, and what I love is, first of all, there's photography, which is what you'd like to do.
Absolutely.
Then there's backstories on everything, from the Grand Haven Pier lights to other things that occur near the lighthouses, lighthouse-related-ish things, lots of website links so people can do their own research, and then you give GPS waypoints for the people that have the GPS in their car, which is becoming almost everybody.
Yeah, and there's actually a little story behind that. By the name of Bill Penrose, and I had a race to publication on with the books as far as having directions, and Bill beat me to the press. So Barb and I went back and did the scenic route. Literally takes paved side roads, and the lower peninsula anyways, paved side roads along the entire coastline, turn-by-turn directions so that you can find them, and then added the GPS waypoints. So now we have 3 different types of directions. And you're right, there's, with each lighthouse is also annual fairs, festivals, and events, and points of interest, and museums and attractions. You can plan a whole vacation around a tour if you want to.
You could, because there's so many other things to do associated with this, and it's nice that people have, finally woke up in Michigan, awakened after the 70s and 80s, sort of forgetting about their lighthouse heritage, and now they're really embracing and celebrating these things.
They are, and you're right, it did take the fact that some of them, like the keeper's quarters at the Little Sable Lighthouse by Silver Lake, when they knocked it down because it was abandoned and they were afraid of liability.
That's considered to be like a big deal in the lighthouse world that got thrown out.
Yeah, it happened to a few different lakes, actually.
Now, I'm looking through these pictures. You got beautiful color photographs and beautiful black and white photography, and again, interesting backstories and everything. This one looks like a boat or something, the Ludington North Pier Light. What's that all about? Why does it look like it's got a plow on it?
Well, actually, originally that was made that way to break up the ice when it flowed in. It was pointed in the other direction, and it is sort of representative of a bow of a boat, so that it would make the ice peel to the side of it and knock it down.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. And now this is no longer functioning, and it's on display? It's turned around the other way, you say?
Or? Oh, no, there's 80% of Michigan's lighthouses still do function. They're just all automated.
Oh, so the lighthouse keeper is no longer a great gig for somebody who wanted to get away from it all?
No, the last keeper in Michigan was actually at the Point Betsy Lighthouse in 1984.
Listen to you. I love this guy. So, that would have been a great gig, though, huh? Like running away and joining the circus? You just want to check out a real life? You could go live in a lighthouse.
It was remote, but it was a tough job.
I don't care. I can be there's days I'd love to just have a tough job.
And be away from this
man. Be away from everybody.
Absolutely.
Do like Clint Eastwood and get a radio station in the lighthouse.
That's right.
Remember that one?
Yeah.
The Lansing Shoal Light. Is that named after our city, or was it near here?
No, actually
I'm not familiar with any Lansing lighthouses.
No,
I've used those 3 towers to navigate by late at night, but I've never... That's as close to a lighthouse as we got in Lansing.
The Lansing Shoal Light was actually built to replace the Squaw Island Light, and it marks the turn either downbound towards Chicago or to continue across to like Escanaba or into Green Bay.
Wow. So boaters would probably be really interested in your books.
Oh, it actually addresses a lot of the needs for a lot of different groups. I mean, I have motorcycle groups that buy that just for the directions.
Seriously?
Absolutely, yes.
So really going lighthouse to lighthouse touring, even if you weren't a fan of lighthouses, it's just another great way to get around Michigan. And when you use this book, it has all, like I said, all the associated festivals, all the dates, and the links for the websites, phone numbers for information, website information. You can use this as kind of a big Michigan guide, even if you didn't like lighthouses.
Yes, it's a great way to see the state. You'll run across all kinds of little cities and stuff when you go around the shoreline.
Have you ever gone out to look for a lighthouse and have it just not be there anymore?
No, that's not happened. I went out to see a lighthouse and it's been so fogged and I couldn't take the pictures. So it looked like it wasn't there anymore.
Weirdest thing that's happened? Have you gone into, I mean, again, we've re-embraced these, so maybe it was a little too late, but in the 70s, I know you could just walk into old abandoned lighthouses, and the doors were literally rotted off the hinges.
Right.
Are they all like that in some spots, some places, or are they all restored?
No, they're not all restored, but they're, in a lot of cases, they are at least, what's the word I want to say? They won't fall down. They're going to be there for a while, at least until some preservation group steps up and makes them more secure.
So, again, if you listeners love lighthouses, you got to know more about this guy. And again, this is part of, I haven't even decided on a name for the series, but this is part of the Tim Barron series of people who are in our own backyards that do really cool stuff. We got the guy that does the nationally known cartoon Fraz. He lives right up the street.
Oh, really?
Yeah, who knew? Did you know? You didn't know?
I didn't know.
That's right. He's on the show. We're going to have him on as a regular now. So we're trying to find all these neat people that do interesting stuff, sometimes with worldwide acclaim, that live right here with us, and we don't even know it. And you're one of them. This guide is fantastic. There are 3 books, depending on the section. And how do people get a hold of this stuff?
There's a lot of different, you can get them in any bookstore, even the chains, and if they don't have it, they can get it. Our book distributor is actually from Holt, and they can also get it from my website, which is www.lighthousecentral.com.
Easy enough to remember, lighthousecentral.com.
It's everything lighthouses. Right now it's just Michigan lighthouses, but we are working on Wisconsin and Minnesota book, and we're also working on a book of lighthouses of the world.
You just got my next question. Nice job. Now let's find out, you've done Michigan. You'll keep us up to date and do updates, I'm sure.
Oh, yes, I will.
As they get restored or things change or fall over or whatever, you'll keep us. But the world, what would be your dream? You've been to how many lighthouses now? Hundreds?
Oh, several hundred, yes.
Yes. So what would be for you, like I have that dream car that I want to get. What would your dream lighthouse be to go visit?
To go visit?
And to document, sort of make yours in a book because, with your photography.
Well, both my